Hey everyone, I'm back. This is part 2 to the horse and resin piece. It's going to be a short video, I think, because I'm going to just be working on this small section here. I feel like it just needs to have a little more on this side so it just doesn't look too heavy on that side. So I'm going to start by making some lines on this side. I actually just bought my first box of popsicle sticks that I use to stir my resin. This is my first box since I started about a year and a half ago, I think it is. So yeah, it's got a new box. I finally ran out. I use them as much as I can and finally ran out, so I'm gonna open this up. So now I got all these popsicle sticks, and hopefully they'll last me another year at least. Alright, so in my last video I showed that I reused my cups, so I'm doing that again. This is just dried up resin, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. This is the cup that I'm going to measure my resin in, and depending on how much resin, I just put a line and then I fill each part up to the line that I chose, and then I mix them into my cup. So I think my first color is going to be the silver. I'll probably do silver and white probably. I'm going to do silver and then white just because there's a line that separates them. That way, since this cures up pretty quickly, these should be getting cured up by the time I pour this. That way they don't leak into each other. The silver that I'm using is this silver by Stonecoat. And pretty much it's gonna be all the same colors that you see in my first video. And then you can't really see, but because it's all covered up, but this is just the new opaque white from Stonecoat. And then since I'm pouring such a small amount at a time in there, after I mix both my parts together in this cup, I'm going to mix it in this 1 ounce little cup here. So now I'm going to mix my resin. This is pretty gross and yellow, but it won't be yellow when I put it down. But this is Stonecoat Part B. Should maybe wash that off, but it just keeps getting dirty. So I recommend not pouring your resin on your surface, but I'm working in such a small area, I don't have too much of a choice, so I just gotta be very careful. And I'm pouring part B first because it's not as thick, so that way when I put the thicker part of the resin in, which is the resin, it won't stick to my cup so much. Okay, so now we're gonna put part A. It's part A. I really love this stuff because you could do a lot more in a day or within a few hours than you can with the other stuff. But it does get challenging because the working time is so small. So you have to make sure you have a plan. So now I'm just mixing. I should move my camera over just a little bit. I'm gonna move my camera just a little bit so that way you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm just stirring up the resin and making sure I scrape the sides. I usually turn my cup in my hand while I'm stirring and scraping the sides. So stirring and scraping is kind of what I do. And then you just, every once in a while, scrape off the stick to make sure it's all mixed in. And it looks really white because of the bubbles, but the bubbles will come out once we torch it. Okay. So, and I don't think I mentioned in my last video, when you're using glitters, you need quite a bit of glitter. Let's see, in your resin, because there's no color in there. So in order to get it thick and to be more opaque, you need a lot of color in there, or a lot of glitter in there. See how that is. You gotta be careful when you're stirring it because it'll just poof up in your face. So just start out slow. There we go. And we'll just pour it where we want it. I still think I made too much. Maybe just a little too much. I'm going over the previous one from the other side, but very like thinning it out as I go on it, just that way so they look connected, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's pretty good. And actually, I think I went over a little too much because this is our line right here, so I don't need all this. But it is going to keep leaking over. Okay, so I have a lot of extra silver, and I'm not putting silver anywhere else. I'm going to go ahead and pour the rest of my silver into my little molds. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to do my white. Let's see here.